Good morning, and thank you very much for joining us. I am Yori Folari. Well, before we go on to other business today, I suppose it's in order to wish the first civilian governor of Lagos State, Alhaji Lateef Kayode Jakonde, who was governor between 1979 and 1983, a happy birthday. Today is his 90th. We had this program yesterday, so we wish Baba Jakonde many more years of life in peace, tranquility, and in good health. Okay, on to the rest of our program today. Our guest is Mr. Dennis Amakre, MON, security consultant. Thank you very much for coming on.
Good morning.
Good morning. And usually when we come knocking at your door, it's because there's another security issue that has gone unbroken. Now, it's a very sad one because a deputy commissioner of police, a journalist of Channels Television, and looking at the other papers, one paper says 12 others dead. DCP and 12 others dead as Shiites protest in Abuja. But at least what official sources are confirming is indeed the DCP, and it is well known that unfortunately the young man, the young Channels journalist, the youth corper I heard, actually was a, he actually died in that whole...
In the hospital.
Yes, in the hospital. So others, it means that usually when you have this kind of a thing, you're not too sure yet because you're waiting on the official sources to give you a good number. But at least one newspaper is saying, not just the DCP, 12 others. And if you took care of
12 others, the DCP, the youth corps, and also the Shite people.
Well, okay. They claim that they lost 11 people.
They also died, yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
There was a lot of gun exchange, and then,
So the brazenness of it, it was in broad daylight. There's amateur footage of it online already. You could see how they were confronting the police, and well, the police, gave a good account of themselves. It doesn't mean that they didn't have this casualty. When we're talking about this, I don't think it's not 2 weeks ago yet.
Yes.
And they were protesting, you've got to release our leader. Government is not releasing the leader, even though there have been court pronouncements that they should go ahead and do precisely that. What are the options left to us? What do you think?
There is a court pronouncement that he should be released on bail, and there's another ongoing case because he's, it's not just sitting down in detention. There's an ongoing case. If you remember, a week or so, they went to court, and it was adjourned till about towards the end of this month again. So his case is ongoing, But for the years that he's been locked up, many people, in fact, it is turning into the court of public opinion where people are saying, after all, release him, what is the big deal? And the government is saying, okay, it's because of national security. And then they're saying, oh, no, but look at what is happening now. People are dying, so including officers,
That is security too.
That is also security. But one thing that people are not aware of is that, you see, this is the leader of the Shiites in Nigeria. El-Zakzaky. And there is a big rivalry going on between the Sunnis and the Shiites. The Shiites are backed by Iran. The Sunnis, which is majority of Nigerian Muslims,
yes,
backed by Saudi Arabia.
Not just majority of my Nigerian Muslims, majority of Muslims around the world.
Yes.
The Sunnis, Wahhabis, exactly, and all of those account for just about 90%.
Exactly. So backed by Saudi Arabia. Now, we don't want what is happening in Yemen to happen here because there's a proxy war going on there where the two powers are facing each other, backed by Iran and Saudi Arabia. And I think that is the future target because they might be also eyeing Nigeria, which is majority Sunnis, and then, of course, the Shiites that are here. And that is going to cause another confrontation. If you remember very well, the international dimension of this case, is already apparent. Yesterday, there were some Iranians who were outside the Nigerian High Commission in London, protesting, abusing the president and
in support of
singing in support of these guys. So we cannot just be looking at it with a local eye now, because this is taking this international dimension, and we should look at it that way. So after all, the government might be in order by holding back on him, because if he was released, you don't know the kind of things that he might have gone to do. But for them to be carrying arms, yes, the people are violent.
One time, I don't know if it was when we spoke last week, I believe we actually got a call from inside the Emir's palace in Kano. Was it when we were together? And no, it wasn't. And as to this idea of, look, release this man, government knows how it can release a person, and the person can't really, go so too far.
Yeah, we discussed that.
We discussed that. And the person calling from within the Emir's palace, he gave his name as Muhammad, was saying that, look, one of the things that you don't understand is that that place can become something of a pilgrimage kind of a thing, where people know where he is. His people who are fanatical in their following will now turn that whole place into another kind of a shrine. I don't know. That was just said in passing.
What is the problem?
Well,
if people want to go on pilgrimage, let them go on pilgrimage. If they want to gather around him, let them go ahead and gather around him.
Wouldn't that constitute another security risk?
No, as long as it is not against security, or what they are doing it does not infringe on national security. And the security agencies can know that if they want to, because they can actually penetrate and know exactly what is being done in that area. But the point is that if people want to go and turn his house into a pilgrimage center, let them do it.
We can still be in control.
Yeah, of course. They can monitor him. The security agencies will monitor him and know exactly what he's doing. But keeping him there now and then, of course, you have all this going on.
Yeah.
And they are saying they are going to come back and come back and come back.
They actually were saying that they're coming back.
Yeah, they said they're coming back today. So I won't be surprised if they are there now. But
no, at least this one they've announced.
It is a situation where we need to nip this in the bud now, because it is becoming a big problem where we're losing top-ranking police officers.
Indeed.
Yes, and when you start to raise arms against the government, then, you're a terrorist.
And so far, it is believed that the government has been handling this with kid gloves, perhaps necessarily so, because when you look at what's going on, there's no way Nigeria doesn't have the wherewithal to just squelch this whole thing once and for all. But in their wisdom, the security people, the presidents, all of them, they said that just leave it to us. We know better. And this knowing better is the way we're going now. Now, I suppose there's no appeasing these IMN people. There's no appeasing them, because they want an Islamic state. They want... how can we talk? What are we going to talk about?
Well, it's the same thing Boko Haram wanted. They want a caliphate. They want Nigeria to be turned into an Islamic state ruled by Sharia law. And that is not possible, because Nigeria is a secular country with so many different kinds of people.
And these IMN people know that, yet they're still making that troublesome demand.
But Boko Haram even made a stronger case than IMN. So, these are pockets of agitations that we need to nip in the bud quickly. Because some of them are doing it out of ignorance. They are not educated enough, and somebody is coming to tell them all kinds of stories, and they are following them. So we also, on government side, need to do things that will, keep people aware of what is going on.
Indeed. Maybe we have a report. Maybe just give us some background. Maybe we could just take that report and then continue with our conversation. This affects yesterday's coverage.
sun Hausa ne ba damuwa na ga sun Hausa ba su dan dauka kakka da.
Okay, and after those, quite the battle scenes, as a matter of fact, police spokesman Frank Mba also spoke yesterday.
The protesters, numbering well over 3,000, came out at about 12:30 p.m. today, and without any iota of provocation, they indiscriminately and violently attacked innocent citizens, attacked policemen on legitimate national assignment, and then embarked on a spree of destruction to both public and private property. But the most unfortunate part of their conduct today is their use of lethal weapons. A total of 54 suspects, 9 of them females, have so far been arrested. These suspects are currently undergoing intensive interrogation in police facility, with clearly the aim of making sure that they are timelessly and diligently prosecuted in our courts of law.
Okay, police spokesman Frank Mba there. Distressing scenes, Dennis. And
Yes.
the one thing that I noticed, and I wish I could have asked Mr. Mba a question, but that was actually recorded yesterday, and viewers would have seen it before now. There's that kind of a scene going on. You could hear gunshots, you could hear all sorts of battle cries. It was turmoil. It was the nation's capital.
Yes.
Now, I didn't hear any choppers going on overhead. I didn't see, sirens blaring from all directions, commando teams, SWAT teams moving in to put all of this down. How is that?
Because we are not ready for that. And this is what we're saying. We should be prepared for things like this. Instead of the gunshots that we're hearing,
Yeah.
we should be having hot water cannons, blowing them backwards.
I would have thought within seconds or
Exactly,
minutes.
but instead we have guns, the Mopol or the riot police. Remember that's the original name?
Yes.
Not Mopol, riot police. The riot police that is supposed to quell this riot are with politicians, carrying handbags for politicians, and then, of course, doing other extra lawful duties, So this is what should be done. The IG himself should sit back with his top management and think about this. All these mopols or riot policemen that have been sent on different kinds of errands should be pulled back, because what are our politicians fearing? Let these people come and make the society safe so that everybody will move around.
But without prejudice to what you're saying, I think one police chief, I don't know if it's the current one or the one before him, had actually withdrawn all those soldiers. I mean, all those.
They keep
men
on
in
saying
uniform.
it, but the people are still with them.
Okay.
The mopols are not there.
So that film went on, and that was just a clip of it for a couple of minutes, and I don't know, maybe I'm overly influenced by watching these film on international cable stations. You see that immediately there's such a disturbance, sirens will start to, you won't know what, you won't be able to hear anymore. Yeah. There'll be a helicopter going on over the place.
That's the point, yeah.
So, but even as we were unprepared, I'm guessing this is why this could have happened for all of that time, and there's no police presence apart from the bravery and the valor of the men in uniform. Where is the backup? I don't know. Where is the backup?
Yeah, we didn't see any backup.
Those guys are in there. So where is the backup? From air, from all sorts of armored vehicles. So it seems that there is a situation that people like us can't understand.
Yes.
And I don't know what it is, because they are even saying that they're going to be coming back. They just might.
They might come back today. They might come back today because they are they have promised to do it, and they've been dedicated to doing that. And of course,
But
like
thank God everybody heard it. The authorities heard it. The police heard it. I want to believe that if they dare to come back, it will be like meeting their Waterloo.
No.
Since there is advance notice.
Before yesterday's case, they said they were coming back. And they did. So maybe that's a response we are going to give them again. The point is that, you see, we should be prepared for these people. This democracy, we don't want to be exchanging gunfires.
Yes.
There are water cannons, there are pepper spray, cannons and all that. They can use in dispersing them. But you allow them.
They say they have 54 people under arrest.
Let them, because you see, that's my problem again. Because those 54, they will interrogate them and lock them up for a whole while, and after a while, we won't hear anything again.
Well,
prosecute them. Kidnappers, prosecute them. Bandits who are arrested, prosecute them. Let the public know. Because you see, why these people are so bold in doing most of the things they are doing now, because they know they can do anything and nothing will happen.
Well, Dennis, you're talking about your own professional community, or maybe former community.
I am talking about...
You're ever a member of that community?
We are members. So the problem is that the law enforcement agencies are doing their best. But you see, they cannot do everything. Number one, they can arrest, but they are not going to be the prosecutors.
They're not.
They are not the prosecutors. Yes. They are not the judges.
But they don't seem to be able to contain the situation going strictly by the pictures we saw on television.
Yes, because most of the time the direction has, is juxtaposed.
Okay.
You bring, like the other day, the vice president was saying that because of what happened in Ondo State about the killing of the daughter of a top guy, we would deploy soldiers on the roads. And I'm against that, because soldiers are not supposed to be mixing with civilian population. And they are there, they will either, next thing you see them extorting money, or you find them, being corrupted by Nigerians, and before you know it, there will be something else. So, give the job of the police to the police. If they are not well trained, train them.
Oh, okay, because I was going to say...
If they are not enough, bring the mopoles back.
Oh, okay. But because I was going to say, when, at least the way those of us who are not professionals see it, is that when the matter has gotten out of hand as far as the police is concerned, is when you bring in the army, which, as you rightly said, ordinarily you don't see on civilian streets. But it is because those guys are not trained to deal with internal civilians. No. It's to repel aggression, to keep. So when you see them, even just looking at them, you know something is amiss here. There's a serious matter. I think it was as a reflection of the seriousness of the killing of the daughter, of the Afenifere.
And it shouldn't always be when a high-ranking person's daughter or a high-ranking person is killed. There are ordinary Nigerians that are dying every day.
Exactly.
And then we should take this, if everybody is doing what he's supposed to do, we don't have to, But when somebody high-ranking is shot or kidnapped or something, then you have this situation of fire brigade, people are running around and making condolence visits and stuff like that. Make the society safe for everybody.
Does it mean then, Dennis, that, because that's what it seems to be like a bit to me, we're helpless? If these people not just come and do what they did, and then leave a card that actually we're coming back, and they just might, are we helpless?
We are not helpless. We have to take the right decisions.
Political decisions?
Some of these are political decisions. Some of them are political decisions because, why don't you do that? We've been having Operation Poor Father. We've been having a Python dance and stuff like that. These are deliberate decisions that you are taking.
Yes.
Yeah, take those decisions, especially when it concerns people like this.
Okay, I get what you're saying. Good morning, Andy, in the UK.
Good Good morning, Uncle Yori.
Good morning, sir.
Your guest there.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Please, I want us and I want to encourage that we should lay more focus on government. But the government, everybody is blaming the government for not releasing these people's leaders. And then you said the government, the police force now are handling the issue with kid gloves. I think there's a lot of inadequacy in that because they are not well equipped. Just like your guest there said,
Yes.
we should have seen siren, we should have seen helicopters roaming about. They knew these people were coming. Helicopters should have been on here just to parade so that they are on the alert. That, okay, the folks are up to the game, up to the task. And again, now 11 people died. If you look at the protest, for 3-month protest in Okon, Uncle Yodi, no life lost. There were injuries, no life lost. In my opinion, I think the only people that were harmed yesterday in that protest were the police. And I would want to remind you, if you listen to all the evidence we have from the there is only one serious sound of a gunshot.
Okay, Andy. Andy, thank you very much, Andy from the UK. But actually, what we're getting is one deputy commissioner of police, a journalist, a young journalist from Channels Television, and the Shiites themselves say they lost 11 people.
Yes.
And that's how we arrive at 12 others dead, DCP and 12 others dead. Yeah. But, well, what he was saying, it goes back to, he thinks the police is ill-equipped.
I agree.
But how we know that we have this situation that we're going to have to be contending with. Yeah. It just looks as if, I don't know how to put it, it just looks as if we're not paying the right amount of attention to this clear and present danger.
You know, the police itself has been weakened a lot. You know, it is the motherboard of all the security agencies, including the army. All of them came from the police. EFCC, SSS, customs, immigration, all of them came from the police. And as you get things happening, you form a new body, and then the mother remains dejected.
Okay.
Where she is. You bring out, when Murtala died, they brought out the SSS, NSO, you know, to take care of protection of VIPs, and they remain the same. EFCC, financial crimes, you bring that one, they remain the same. Customs, border, and all the rest. So you find out that the police itself has been there.
Okay.
And then, of course, even the military, during the military regimes, because they don't want military people to plan coups and take over governments, they starved them of funds. And because of that, when they started with Boko Haram, they don't have equipment. So you find out that you know, government should not be personalized. It should be a process. Governance should be a process whereby all these agencies should be empowered to do their job. Because when you don't empower them, then when the thing actually happens, then they are in trouble.
Okay. Kazim in Ibadan, good morning.
How are you, sir?
Very well, thank you, sir.
Yeah, good morning. Thanks for this program. The way I see it, personally, I have lived the last 28 years of my life in the North.
Okay.
Kind of precisely. As a Muslim, a devout Muslim for that matter, what these guys are doing is against the tenets of our religion. That is one. For those of us that are entrenched in the North, I'm speaking from Ibadan currently.
But they were, Mr. Kazim, they were shouting in there, Allah is the greatest, Allah is the greatest.
That is not, this thing is in your mind. It's not what you say out.
Exactly.
You understand? It's in your mind. Islam is a complete and total submission to the will of Allah. Allah did not instruct us to go and commit violence or to go and instigate people. There are processes involved. Our president is from the North. He knows these people very well. He knows what they can do. it is just quite unfortunate that part of this government, there are majority members of these Shiite people as of this government. This is why this thing is a little bit of a cankerworm.
Well, that statement right there, Mr. Kazim, that one was a bit of a speculation, or are you saying it on reliable authority?
Let us leave that.
Okay, I think so.
What we are trying to say, personally, looking at the followers that this man has, especially in the north.
Exactly.
Just like you have made mention of the Sunni and this thing.
Sure. Yes.
It is a test of mind. Mm-hmm. It is a test of mind. Mm. I think they need to go into either reconciliation or dialogue.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Kazim. I've got to cut away now because I have to quickly go on a commercial break. But stay with us, please. We'll be right back to continue with your calls. Okay, welcome back, and it's the day after yet another attack by IMN, Shiite Muslims, protesting the release of El-Zakzaky, their leader, who has been in government detention, in spite of court orders for his release. And as my guest, Mr. Dennis Amakre, MON and security consultant, had pointed out, so there is even an ongoing case trying to pursue that same objective. Okay, we'll continue, but just to let you know that we might be cutting away to Abuja, where there's an international housing show, but so they're not ready yet. That's just where the event will be happening. And but back to matters of the moment. And you said we're not helpless. Government is being careful. That's the only thing I can see. Mm-hmm. The government is being careful. Otherwise, you bring the might of the Nigerian military, the Nigerian arm to bear on. If this were anybody else, I don't know that they'd be getting away with it. But as you were pointing out, it's delicate. Number one, it's a matter of faith, even though some people are saying that those ones are not Muslims. But we explained how, look, the Shiites minority around the world, maybe they're about 10% or maybe less than 10% of Muslims all over the world. And so that can be much different here. Then there's the matter of Iran. I suppose we have relations with Iran. Mm-hmm. So those ones will be looking. They were at the...
They are not looking. They're already active. They were in the Nigerian High Commission
in the UK.
Yes.
Protesting in support
of these people and abusing the Nigerian president.
Now, isn't that anti-government, anti-integrity activities? Can't our government protest?
Protest how? Protest with them?
Yeah, no, protest to Iran that we don't enjoy this behavior.
Oh.
You seem to be giving these people...
the Iranian government is not a friend to the Nigerian government because they know that the Nigerian government is a friend to Saudi Arabia.
And so
because of that, they are not our friends. So and then this is their man inside your place, and they feel like they have to protect him. That's why they sent them there. So, you have to see the international aspect of this, whereby it has even gone so bad in Yemen.
Yes.
Where the two powers are fighting each other,
Openly on this.
Yeah, openly.
Okay. Mr. George, good morning. Thank you for calling in.
Good morning, Uncle Yori.
Thank you for calling.
And good morning to Mr. Makri.
Good morning.
Uncle Yori, is anyone still in doubt as to the root of this Shiite problem and its insecurity? How can Iranians be protesting over an internal affairs of our country?
Exactly.
And the protesters in Nigeria were heading to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs with a view to putting it on fire.
Yes.
Just imagine that. The government is too slow on this matter for my liking. The IPOB that was prescribed, they were not as violent as this sect. Why is the sect still in existence? Prescribe it and sweep them off our streets.
That's all.
Is Iran going to take over Nigeria with their neutron bomb before we react? I can't say anything again. Oh. Good morning.
Indeed. Thank you very much. Because that you know,
I agree with him.
That's the point. Well, say IPOP, for instance.
Yes.
Government has come down heavily on IPOP.
Yes.
You know, in fact, they turned up the heat so much.
They proscribed them.
They proscribed them.
Yes.
Turned up the heat so much. Nnamdi Kanu, he took to his heels.
Yes.
And he's operating on the internet now from somewhere. So what's the difference between that and this?
Nothing stops it. And if we don't do anything about this, you know, Nigerians, they'll start to read meanings into it.
Of course.
In fact, some days ago, some people were already reading meanings into it. That, okay, this is not because they are from a particular section of the country.
Yes,
you know, nothing is happening to them.
Yes. But
otherwise, how can they be bold to go to the head,
Yes.
to the national, you know, capital and be doing this? They try to enter the National Assembly.
And the efforts have been made to sort of explain this away by spokespeople from the presidency. But when you see what's going on now, people's patience will wear thin.
This is not time for explanation.
This
Just
is not
like
time
the
for
Guardian
explanation
says.
anymore.
Yes, this is not time for explanation. What we need is action.
Mazi Okorafo, good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, our guests in the studio.
Thank you.
Good morning.
And this is again, you see, Nigeria is our country. We have no other place to go.
Yep.
Not Iran or Hong Kong. That is to say, what we need today is what we call spiritual cleansing, human capital cleansing, material cleansing, and emotional cleansing.
Yes, sir.
Now, if Nigeria is to move on all these factors, 1, 2, 3, 4, I bet you we'll move ahead. Now, let's go back to this. Do you know that what we are facing today is what we call, that's what the first tax brought to this country? Because when first tax came to Nigeria, we were so everybody were happy. All these African countries brought all their food to this country and left it and went away. So that is why we need what? Cleansing, to cleanse all those food from other countries.
But they went back home now. They took their demons with them when they were going back home.
No. Go and read that cassette written by Reverend Father Anthony Osele. They left it here and went away. That is what we are facing. Now, ask me, our youth, we should be talking about how to move forward. Because there's a expiring date for everybody. 6 weeks is expiring date for anybody in this world. So the youth should be talking about how to move forward. Because how can you get development? How can you move? That's progress in a country like this. Because me as a human being, if what I saw on the television, man, everybody, you will not be feeling happy because these are our children. No, because as your own child, how will you feel? Because now look at the young Corp member now. Look at the policeman because we have to pray hard. Let God help us so that God will touch the minds of all Nigerians. Let our elders, let them come now. The rejoice that come now and survey this country. Thank you very much. Have a blessed day in Lagos.
Indeed. Thank you very much, Mazi Okorafo. I suppose the ball is now in the government's court.
Yes.
Government is aware that we are beginning to get exasperated. You see, when people don't know what's going on, then that gives room for rumors and fake news and, and panic. And even now, in the secrecy of WhatsApp, which is a one-on-one, there are people posting stuff like Fulanis are now mounting roadblocks in the southwest. Watch out. You know,
that's another thing we need to talk about. You see, this social media thing is becoming a problem.
It is.
Whereby a lot of things are posted, and then, of course, people are believing them without even cross-checking.
Unfortunately.
You know, there are many, many rumors.
Of course.
Enugu, where they said that vultures were dying because they ate some cow, a dead cow, which has been poisoned by Fulanis.
All sorts of things are going on.
So the vultures who ate this thing were dying. You know, and
there's a lot of this going on in the back alleys of the social media,
all over the place, and then
WhatsApp.
Yes,
you know,
a lot of people read it and then they believe it.
Yes, they don't put it on the expressway of Facebook, for instance.
Not at all.
No, or
all.
Instagram.
No, not at all.
But the back alleys,
Twitter, and all kinds of things. So we should be able to always cross-check information.
What do we now do? There was a time when somebody, Nigerians will not tolerate your messing with their freedom, and they say, no, you can't.
No, I will give you a little parameter. When you read things on Twitter or Instagram or whatever, You know, and it sounds too good to be true.
It probably is.
Wait for the major
mainstream
press
to carry it.
To carry it before you
and you'd be surprised at the caliber of people that are forwarding.
Oh yeah, some people are doing it mischievously.
Okay, Comrade Dike in Kaduna. Good morning, sir, and thank you for holding on.
Thank you, Uncle Yori, and thanks to our guests.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Well, I just want to comment on what is happening at Abuja yesterday.
Okay.
And it's still ongoing.
Sure.
You see, if you want to solve a problem, you go to the root of the problem to
Sorry,
try
sir.
to solve it.
What did you mean by still ongoing? They quenched it yesterday.
The ongoing, I mean that it has not ended. It's still on process.
Yes.
They promise that they are coming back. Who knows if they might come back again today? So now, the point I'm making is this. You see, this very government has not really done the right thing. There is a battle between Iran and Saudi Arabia going on in Nigeria indirectly.
Yes.
Instead of the government to do the right thing by at least free this man, since the court have granted this man bail, this man should have been allowed to be free, so that you can then have the right to watch his followers and monitor them and know what they are doing exactly. Remind you, we have not finished the battle of Boko Haram. And Boko Haram have committed much grievous issues since against Nigeria. And this one now is wearing its ugly head. I'm begging on the government to equally look for the head of Boko Haram and go to them and get him into the bar so that we now begin to treat these two groups on the same level. IPOB never performed to the level of these two groups in this country. Correct. And they were prescribed terrorist organization, and they were not. What is happening to this one that is happening now? Is it when it became more escalated that they will do something about it?
Yeah.
Please, the government should wake up and do the right thing now before it gets too late. Not only Shite group, but also both parent groups and their sponsors and the sponsors of these ones now, before it might get too late. And the problem we have in the country is too much. Headman is killing, bandits is killing. This one too is rearing up. I don't know where we are going. We have only one country that is called Nigeria. Sure. And may God help us. Thank you very much, Okuyori, for speaking with you this morning.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for calling in. As he's pointed out, that's the second gentleman who has pointed it out. IPOB, Independent Peoples of Biafra, is that what IPOB is? You know, it's something, indigenous people
of Biafra.
Of Biafra. Now, one understands when government had very, very little, no patience with them at all, because what they were wanting. I don't see the difference between that and what is going on now.
There is a difference, because these ones are carrying arms. Those ones don't.
They do, and these ones have a country behind them, and arguably,
IPOB doesn't. So this is what I was discussing with you earlier. There is need for government to come out and deal with it, because if they don't, people will start to interpret it in a different way.
Yeah, exactly. You know, because people begin to make these comparisons.
Yeah, and this is not what you want to get yourself into.
Because the last program, I know I spent a lot of my own portion on the program saying that, look, the governments are the experts in these things. They know stuff that we don't know. Even though it's infringing all sorts of rules of law and all of that, government probably is saying that if only these people knew. But now we're beginning to lose too many people, and the time has come when you're going to have to act or tell us what's going on, so that we can all be behind you and be understanding and sympathetic to what seems like a catch-22 situation. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. Someone else is on the phone. Who? Joshua in Ogun State. Good morning, sir.
Uncle Yori, good morning, sir.
Good morning. Thank you for calling in.
I greet your guest. My condolences to the young man, the cop.
Indeed. Yes. Indeed.
Unfortunate. And then the police officer.
The Deputy Commissioner of Police.
These are very, very
painful
bad.
losses.
The waste of life we are experiencing in this country is avoidable. But I will just say something, Uncle Yori. You know, when we talk about issues, we don't solve them. You know, we are a talking nation.
Yes.
We love to talk. we love to dialogue. I'm not talking about your program because I must commend you that the way things are handled on your program, they seem to be touching on the matter in a way that I'm speaking, even at the level of presidency. I am going to seriously elect the president of Nigeria. And I think it's because he's Muslim. Going on here. See, no religious group has monopoly of violence. No religious group should have violence as part of its tool of actualizing its program. I've not seen where religion and violence mix up. So they should look at this Shite group and see them as terrorist group. That's the truth. Whatever they are talking about, violence is not part of religion. Please, Uncle Yori. Now, for the media, please, the media. There's this thing I want you to seriously address on your program. You're talking about the government not obeying court orders, but they are still in court. I think the media is promoting the violence unknowingly because they are indicting the government that government is disobeying court order. So if you say government is disobeying court order, then it's encouraging these people to go into the street and disobey themselves. But I understand that the matter is still in court.
It's still in court.
And it is allowed to be in court as long as the parties are there. So this idea of media always saying government is disobeying court order, interrogate that matter very well. It might be behind what the violences we are having today.
All right, then.
So that we can stop killing innocent people.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Joshua, for calling in.
I agree with him.
Yes, and you know, he made
I agree with him because this case is still ongoing, like I mentioned to you earlier.
Yes. Even though originally it must have been as a result of government not being satisfied.
There are different charges.
Okay.
If in one charge they said that you should be released on bail, other charge is saying that hold him down, you know, and then let's go and solve this. His lawyers were in court. I saw Femi Falana the other day.
Yeah.
They were all there. If they feel that it was an illegal court, they will not go. So it is in court.
Okay. Mr. Olaniwaju in Ijebu-Ode, good morning.
Hello, good morning, sir.
Thank you for calling in. Good morning.
Yeah. Sir, I wrote an article about Nigeria. Inside the article, I wrote that the formation of Nigeria himself is the problem. Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, I can hear you, but you see, you're going to take us into the history now.
Yes,
we understand it.
I really want to go little about the history
because
so that you will know where the problem is.
Okay, I don't want to gag you in any way, shape, or form, but we all know, we know the story you're going to tell. But could you just take it from there and sort of take it as a given? Tell us how it's affecting us now.
Yeah, as in we learn that the beliefs and culture of everybody is their way of life. Look at what is happening in Iran. Everybody knows Iran is to a particular set of people. Arab to a particular set of people. UK to a particular set of people. But coming back to Nigeria, the diversity of the ethnies and the tribes is what is giving us the problem.
Okay.
See, you really need to come back to that round table. Let's dialogue. Okay, give us let's know your grievances and let's have a way forward. If some set of people can just come openly, look at what is happening in Abuja, and some part of the country cannot even think out of that essence, and they have been, look at the way they have been treated.
Yeah.
We really need to come back to the round table, please.
Okay.
Let's dialogue and let's sort this thing amicably.
Okay. Thank you very much for calling in.
The formation is wrong. Everybody believes the formation is wrong. Please.
Thank you. Thank you very much for calling in. And on the point of our man, who also is listening to the program, Femi Akonde, he's called in and saying Abuja is calm. Yes, they did say what they said yesterday, but Abuja is calm. It's nowhere like yesterday. So things have settled down.
Yesterday started around 12:30.
Yesterday started around 12:20. Okay, so I want to thank you very much, Dennis, Mr. Dennis Amakre, MON Security Consultant.
Thank you.
And as I said, we'll be cutting over to Abuja. I think we've just about said all we need to say today. Yes. So we will cut over to Abuja. Join us tomorrow, please, for a fresh edition. I am Yori Folari. Bye-bye for now.
To go.